Hello guys, as you may know, Dead Rails updated. Today, I'll be showing you everything in this update, and everything you need to know. And I'm also adding tips and tricks, and I will show you facts and my opinion on it. And by the way guys, about the giveaway, I had to delay it, since my main got banned, but I'll be sure to do it tomorrow. Now without further ado, let's go ahead and start the video. So first, they added 3 new classes: President, Demolitionist, and Hunter. So now I'll explain what they do. First one. The Hunter is a class that is reliable. It is one of the far better class in this new update. First of all, it gives you all of the following items. These items can be useful, and it can be used for everything. Now let me drop my opinion on this. I think crossbow is really just a terrible weapon, because it's slow and deals very low damage, and the arrows aren't as easy to find, so the crossbow isn't really that good. So I don't recommend being confident with it, and you should never try raiding anything with it, because I think even the shovel can do better. So don't waste your time with this. Just stick to using regular weapons, since they are 100x better than this. Now for the bear trap. This is probably the only item that's good here, but at the same time it's really bad, because it also affects you too, and this can be very dangerous in situations. And it also has a really bad downside, and it turns every wolf into a werewolf. This downside is probably one of the worst, since wolves already spawn at the first town, and it just makes it worse if they're werewolves, so make sure to watch out for that, because you can pretty much die from it. This ruined the bear trap, and I don't think it will ever be used, since it can only work when wilded. So if you're asking me, I recommend you to not bother using it, since it's pretty useless if it can trap you too, and you'd probably be better off not using this. Now I'm done explaining this class. Also, I didn't add the arrow, since it's pretty self-explanatory. Now let's move on to the President class. This class comes with no item, but it's because it has a passive, and the passive spawns a random soldier, but it only spawns it if you die, so it feels like the known class. It's a really bad class, since the soldier that spawns when you die isn't even worth dying for, since it is very weak, and if you consider the price of it, it's really expensive, and I really don't recommend buying it, since the vampire class is 75 bonds, and the werewolf class is 50 bonds, so it kind of seems like a bad price in my opinion, so I don't recommend buying it. That's enough yep for the class. Let's move on to a better class. A better class like the Demolitionist. Now, this class is probably the best class here, since it actually has a decent passive, which allows you to be immune to explosions. A lot of you may not think it is good, but think about it. You can survive explosions from the miner zombie. I know a lot of you die to that, so that's why it's really good. And you can raid Sterling Town very easily. That means you are basically invincible to it, since the only thing hard there is the miner zombie. And it also gives a few useful items. These are the items that you get from it. These items are really good, and it makes the Demolitionist a good class. And these items can easily one-shot things, so make sure to utilize them, and use them. Now that we're done with this, here is my list on the best classes in this new update. Tell me your opinion in the comments. I would like to hear all of them. Now let's go over the more important things, like the new items they added, and also the new changes they have made. I think you guys would want to see that more, rather than me yapping about some classes. These new classes are really bad except one. So now let's go over the new items. First, they added a ballista. Here is the model of it. It looks very nice. Here's a clearer shot. It's a very good weapon, because I heard this kills the new boss in 12 shots, and it's also quicker than the cannon, so I think it is a lot better. Now moving on to other things. Now, about the new structure. It's kind of easy to raid, since there's barely anything that is hard to beat, since the NPCs only uses crossbows and melees, so there's nothing holding you down. Now I'll show you the model of the structure. The model is really nice. It has some big prison vibe. This is what it looks on the front. It looks very nice. These are the enemies that this prison contains. Those are all the NPCs in this building. They're not really that hard. Sadly, this structure has 0 bonds in it. In here I checked everything and found 0 bonds. so this is not really worth rating, unless you want the new weapons, which are blunderbuss, elephant rifle, crossbow, Excalibur. In my opinion, none of these weapons are overpowered, except the Excalibur, of course. All of these weapons are simply too slow, which is very bad if you're raiding a town, so I recommend staying away, and just use your normal weapons, since these weapons are too much work. Now time to get the Excalibur. This weapon is very OP from what I've heard, so I hope they weren't lying about this. This guy stopped us from getting it. This guy is really easy, just keep walking back, since he's very slow. He can get obliterated with the electrocutioner, so I recommend getting the electrocutioner if you want to do this fast. But even with normal weapons, this guy is still very easy, and you don't even need to worrying about this. I recommend you guys to try and hit his eyes, or just hit his neck. He'll already die from that. Now, after you killed him, you can now claim it. And if you were wondering, the Excalibur cannot be sold, and Goliath is sold for 100 cash, and the archers can be sold for 35 cash, so make sure you store them all. Now we claimed the Excalibur, let's go. Also, if any Dead Rails developer is watching, please fix this bug, because I get flung if my teammate drags me. Okay, so here is the blunderbuss. This gun is fairly decent, all the other guns are terrible, and the Excalibur has a 20% chance to follow up with lightning after you hit something, which one-shots most of the time, so that's why this weapon is so OP. Now, I was about to end the video here, but what if I tried something out? What if I fought Nicola Tesla? But I'll use the Excalibur to do so. So this is gonna be Nicola Tesla versus the Excalibur. So, I quickly found the lab and prison, that I'll be raiding them now. Now I'll turn the power on. I'll quickly raid this for a bit. This should be very easy. I almost died, but luckily I'm still alive. Now let's try to find Tesla. Let's kill all these NPCs first. Okay, he's here now. Okay guys, Nicola Tesla wasn't defeated, but if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, as it helps me out in making more videos. Thank you everyone and goodbye.